Welcome to the Dane Show, your place for everything drawing, animation, nerds, and gaming. I'm your host, Pierre, and I'm here with my co-host, Juels.
I'll wait for you.
I guess I answer for you this time again.
Yeah.
I mean,
I thought I was just waiting for you to go ahead.
That's cool. So today we're going to be talking about, well, first of all, let's start it off this way. How was your week, man?
Sounds really exciting, right? Yeah, meh.
It's a meh. It's a meh week. It's been a meh week for you, bro.
I mean, I'm here. Done some, same old as far as working, but also, I've just been sketching some stuff and, just dealing with life, working, drawing, feeding the kids, the usual, playing a little game here and there.
Yeah, that's what's up, man. I mean, you got to live life, So it sounds like that's what you're doing. I guess did you watch anything new this week, or did you play anything new this week, or did you draw anything new this week?
I didn't watch, well, I am watching something new. I'm watching that Netflix One Piece. So yes, I am watching something new, and I did learn something new. I have like a mini crush on Alana Pierce, with the thing going on. I'm kind of scrolling her feed, and I'm like, man, she's a really attractive woman.
Yeah, there's a lot of them out here, man. There's a lot of them.
Oh yeah. So
Yeah.
You agree?
I mean, she's all right. I looked her up not too long ago. I mean, she looks like a regular white girl to me.
Perhaps. I mean, I'm not crushing hard, but I mean, she I don't know. I like her. I like what she got going on.
I mean, she's cute. I mean, I'll give her that. She's cute, but I mean, it's not doing a lot for me. Like, man, I gotta check her out like that. She's just a normal chick.
That's cool.
I could see her being like a cheerleader or something like that, or
a cheerleader.
Yeah, a cheerleader. Yeah.
Okay, that's cool. That's cool.
But I mean, I don't know who she is. Who's she? She a gamer or something, or she's an artist?
She's a game dev.
Currently working for, like, she developed games.
Yeah, she currently works for PlayStation.
Oh, okay.
Sony, Montreal, something like that.
And what game did she work on?
Shoot, man, I don't know. I just started looking the stuff up on her because of the controversies that's been happening lately with Starfield. So, and just hearing what she was saying, the things that was going on with that. So that's the only reason why I kind of know who she is now. Which we would get into. I will give the whole reasoning to why this person came into my existence, of me knowing exactly who she is, which I'm not mad at.
Right. I mean, well, with that being said, I guess I'll tell y'all about my week later on, but we could just get right into it. Today we're gonna be talking about gaming. Yeah, today is the gaming week, so we're gonna be talking about gaming on the Dane podcast. Let's get a little housekeeping out the way. Well, first of all, thanks for listening to the Dane podcast. You know what I'm saying? We talk about drawing, animation, nerds, and gaming things, and each week we have a topic. So this topic this week is gaming. We're gonna try to get out more content for you guys. And you could let us know what you want to talk about. If you guys can hit us up, let us know what you want to talk about. Hit us up on the socials. We usually give our socials at the end, but if you want to give them now, do you want to give them now, or do you want to wait till the end?
It's just Jules Artificial on Instagram and Jules Artificial on Facebook.
Okay.
Same thing on TikTok.
So all the socials, Jules Artificial, and same thing for me. You can check out Fire Ruin Comic on Instagram. You can check out PG Artwork on Instagram. Also on Facebook, we have a Dang group. You can check out the Dang group there. A lot of talented artists there. We try to get more traffic there, try to get more artists working together there. So if you want to hit us up, you can hit us up on there. And also dangcomics.com. Right now it's under construction, but you can check out our first comic book or a collaboration we did with one of our members in the Dang community. And it's a free comic book. You can check it out. It's a couple of pages. I think it's about 12 or so pages. I did 6 pages and he did 6 pages. Is our character interacting with each other. And, just a little fun. Our first little outing trying to work together and do some comics together. So, all right, Jewels, get back into the topic. Gaming. So, us as old folks, I guess we don't really have that much time to game, right? Well, I speak for myself. I'm old, you know what I'm saying? But I'm an artist. I try to focus on my artwork, but I do get to play games. I grew up on games, man. So, games is a therapy for me, I guess. But I haven't been able to play as many games as I want to, but I do take out, some time to play certain games, like the major games. So I'll probably break it down to maybe 2 or 3 a year. It depends on what's coming out. I got my big hitters like God of War and Spider-Man and Final Fantasy, stuff like that. But if something looks very interesting, I'll check it out. What about you, man?
Far as it's something that I've been looking forward to, and that's a stretch. But it's something I'm looking forward to. I definitely be picking it up. My big things was like the Borderlands, Wonderlands when it came out, where I was telling you about that. And I don't really have too many video games I'm looking forward to. I'm looking forward to new Mario and Sonic's coming out.
So you're an old school gamer. You like the old school game.
Yeah, when it comes to, Spider-Man, I know you a huge fan. So, I've been listening to what you've been saying and what others been saying about the game. And, the Miles Morales. Is it Spider-Man 2 Miles Morales, or is Miles Morales already out?
It was Spider-Man PS. You just call it PlayStation Spider-Man. Then it was Miles Morales, was a continuation of it. It was a kind of mini game. It wasn't a full game. It was kind of just a story about Miles. And now this is Spider-Man 2. So this is Miles and Spider-Man in this game. So both of them are going to be in there. And it continues the story from the first Spider-Man game and Miles Morales game.
Does it have any correlation to do with the Spider-Verse? Or that's just it's over different.
Not yet. The movies is just focusing on the Spider-Verse at the moment, but this is kind of like its own universe, if you want to call it like that. So this game is its own gaming universe. It kind of explains that Peter Parker has already been an established Spider-Man, and then you get the classic villains like Doc Ock and everybody like that in the first game, and it's a very detailed story. You get to fight Kingpin, and you get alluded to Harry being missing, and you trying to find out what's going on with Harry. You get to see some other villains and stuff like that, but then you also get to see Miles get his powers, and Spider-Man kind of trains him a little bit. And then, I ain't gonna ruin this first Spider-Man game for you, but it's Spider-Man. He has to go through tragedy, so something had to happen. And then
is it
you
the
go to
same
Miles
thing
Morales.
that happened to Spider? Is it the same thing that always happened to Spider-Man when he loses Uncle Ben? Ain't that is that what you're trying to keep the spoil from? I know about that.
No. In this game, before the movies came out, man. I mean, I'm updating you on the old game. It came out like years ago, so I mean, I could spoil it for you. I just run the spoiler
No,
warning. You know what I'm saying?
but
If you want
no,
to
but
spoil it,
what you said when you was like, something happened to Spider Man that, I ain't gonna spoil it for you. I'm like, wait a minute. Everybody knows that Uncle Ben dies in Spider Man, right? Besides the one with the No Way Home, where um, Aunt May died. But in this game, so that's not it. It's not Uncle Ben. The big surprise is what you're telling me. I need to check up on it to see exactly what's going on.
no, I wouldn't say it's it's a big surprise. I'm just saying like Spider-Man has 99 problems, you know what I'm saying, and things happen. But yeah, I mean, it's the same basic thing, but it's just more emotional, I guess you would call it more emotional because Spider-Man has to go through tragedy, and as me being a huge Spider-Man fan, he goes through a lot of stuff, and somebody significant to him has to pass away. I just ain't gonna tell you who it is. You know what I'm saying?
Ah, so it sounds like I'm off. Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay, I guess I have to take a look see to see exactly what's going on here because this is a shocker. It seemed like they went off the grid on this one.
Yeah, I mean, it was, yeah, it's kind of off the grid when you first played it, but it's been so many years that, now it's became a thing. So,
Really? Okay.
but yeah, I mean, it's just a very, solid game. I mean, if you ever played any of the Batman Arkham games, a lot of people are related to that, how smooth it plays and how you can tie together your combos and use your gadgets and stuff like that. It has a sneaking element. You basically can swing. I mean, and then in the Miles Morales game, they just update everything. You know what I'm saying? And it's better. You get more costumes. You get more, you know, swinging. And that was right around when the PS5 was coming out. So then they re-released the Spider-Man 1 game, and it had a new face model for Peter Parker and everything like that. So um, you would get the 4K and the 60 frames and all that stuff like that swinging. You get the uh, what is it? The ray tracing. You know what I'm saying? So when you swing by a building, you can see a reflection and everything like that. It just looks beautiful, man.
Well, I'm gonna tell you why I couldn't really get into the Spider-Man games universe in general, and I might get butchered for this, but when they was going against the enemies and stuff like that, as far as the combat that you was talking about, it just seems like he got all this abilities with disposal, but the minions themselves are just like regular grunts. So you just swinging through the wood. I mean, it's what Spider Man does, but I don't know. It's kind of taking me out my immersion of the combat, just fighting regular dudes on the street, and I see that happening. And I'm like, during the game, I'm wondering how they balance that, how they balance Spider-Man fighting regular people.
Well, I mean, in this game, he's up against like villains who like basically have machine guns and stuff like that. So you can still get hurt and everything like that, and you basically dodging bullets in the game. You got your spider sense, so they got brutes. They got just like in the Batman games. So you got big people that got armor on, so you can't just like you can web them up, but then they can break the web. Sometimes they'll swing you if you don't swing with the web. Stuff like that. Like you could pick up things with your web, like trash cans and stuff like that, and throw it at enemies. Some enemies you can go and do your combos on, and some you can't. So it's like I said, like the Batman game where you can tie together combos, but they have a different enemy type. It's not the same type of enemy type. Like they're shooting at you, like you'll be chasing a car, and they'll be you got to catch the car through the city, so you got to swing through the city, jump on the car, and then they have quick time events where they're shooting on one side of the car. So if you don't dodge, then you get knocked off the car, stuff like that. It's it's very dynamic on how the gameplay is.
Okay, all right. Maybe I'm just a little too critical about it. Maybe that's what it is.
I mean, you got to play it to know. I mean, if you don't, if you like, I would put it up. It is the top Spider-Man game to play. So they did a hell of a job, and also the team that made it is the team who made Infamous. I don't know if you know Insomniac. They also
Mm-hmm.
make the Ratchet and Clank games, I think. But they do pretty good when it comes to like traversing and moving around. Infamous used to be one of my greatest, I mean, one of my favorite games. Um, for the younger crowd who might not have played Infamous, but it was about a guy who was delivering a secret thing or a secret weapon, and it goes off. He's like a bike deliverer. Like this is before Uber and everything like that. So, so he was a bike delivery guy, and he was delivering something, and it exploded in the city, giving some people powers and some people mutations. And he got electricity powers. And he goes in this game. He's trying to figure out how the electricity, how the whole incident happened, and everything like that. It's pretty cool story with the game. I ain't gonna spoil that one for you. I already kind of spoiled Spider-Man for you. So yeah, just check it out. I think it has 3 games actually. It has Infamous 1 and Infamous 2. Infamous 1 and 2, they had Cole as the main protagonist, and then Infamous 3 is like a future after Cole did what he done, and it's new characters. And I think that was right when PS4 hit, so it's got good graphics and all that stuff like that. It's very ahead of its time. A lot of people kind of hate on it a little bit, but it's ahead of its time.
Yeah, I played the infamous games as well. Um, yeah, I actually thought it was a pretty good storyline.
Oh yeah,
I think
yeah,
the,
it was
the
definitely
third
good.
one is the girl, right? It was like she had like light powers or something. I think.
Yeah, that was in the third one. She
Yeah.
had neon powers type of thing, and then the other guy
Okay.
had like a rogue type of power where he can get other people powers. But I mean, in the second game of Infamous, Cole started getting other people powers as well. So you know,
Interesting. Yeah, that was a good franchise. Yeah, definitely recommend playing it. It's definitely a good franchise.
so
Most definitely.
we don't want to bore the audience with talking about old games. They might be some young folks, but no, I'm just joking.
Those are the
But I
best
mean, what?
kind.
Yeah, those are the best kind. Because they wasn't as money grubbing as they are now. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
Like
Speaking
you
of
can't even
money,
play a game now without it being a bunch of microtransactions or a season pass or they got content locked behind it, man. Like what are some of the worst games you think have did those practices, man?
Destiny 2, Overwatch, mostly Destiny 2 though. Me and you was hard into Destiny.
Here we go.
But
I
when
knew it was
Destiny
coming,
2
Destiny,
when
man.
Destiny 2 hit, Lord have mercy. I mean, Destiny was already doing some shady stuff, and I was like, maybe I could forgive it, and I really wanted to forgive it and make it work. But dang, with Destiny 2, I just don't know. It's these companies are getting to the point where they're so brave they can take away stuff from you that you already paid for, and then sell it back to you as a thing to have as a reward or pre-order bonus or something. Like
Right.
what? And it's like I don't know. And with
See,
Overwatch, oh, go
yeah.
ahead, go ahead. I'm
Oh,
about to
I
say
mean,
with
I was going
Over.
to elaborate on that, man. See, back in the day,
Oh,
back in the day, if you had a game that had a weapon in it, and they came out with the second game, you would understand that they wouldn't have that weapon in that game. You know what I'm saying? Because it's a new
no,
game.
right?
But this game is a live service game, so live service they can just put whatever they want to in there and just say you got to continue to play it. So they use FOMO for the players to play. And I mean, look, I was deep in Destiny, man. I mean, look, it's a love hate relationship with Destiny right now with me. because I love Destiny 1. It was such a unique experience. It was my first shooter. Like, it wasn't my first shooter. My first shooter was GoldenEye. GoldenEye. I don't know if y'all guys know about that, but
Oh man, Golden.
but
That's the classic.
yeah, GoldenEye is a classic. But that was a fun shooter game. But this one was my like first RPG type shooter game, and I was always on a type of RPG type of kick, and I was like, oh man, this is unique. This is something different. A shooter RPG, like I can build my character up and stuff like that. I mean, and I'm one of the big nerds that kind of like games like that. I kind of started on like Final Fantasy VII, you know, when it came out in 1997. Funny story, I don't know if I told this before, but I probably have. But funny story, real quick, Jewels. I don't want to cut you off or nothing, but
Oh no,
funny
go
story.
ahead.
I was a big fighting game back in the day. I was a big fighting game guy. I still am a big fighting game guy. And so when Tekken 2 came out, I had spent my little bit of money to get Tekken 2. And I played that game to the death of me. You know what I'm saying? But I would take it to school. I was like, yo, who trying to play me on? Who trying to play me on Tekken 2? And this one guy, this one guy was like, "Yo, I ain't never played Tekken." I was like, "What? You ain't never played Tekken, man?" I was like, he was like, "Let me, can I borrow it?" And so, you know, I learned my lesson from my stepdad. You got to have some something called collateral, and I didn't know what collateral was, but I found out that day what collateral was. So I was like, "Look, man, you got to give me a game, and I'll let you borrow my game, and then, you know, if you don't give my game back, then I'm gonna keep your game." You know what I'm saying?
Right, right.
This is some middle school, elementary school type joint. You know what I'm saying? so so yeah, he gave me this game, and he sold me on the game like, yo, this is a dope game, man. It had this dude with a big ass sword on the front, and it had 3 discs, and I was like, what the hell type of fighting game is this, man? You know what I'm saying? He's like, yeah, man, it's dope. Yo, you could fight in it. You know what I'm saying? You fight a bunch of different monsters and this and that and the third. So man, I get home, I pop the disc in. This is at PlayStation 1, you know what I'm saying? So I pop the disc in, and then it shows me this little movie and cutscene and everything. I'm like, yo, this shit is kind of tight. Then the little dude hop off the train, and I'm like, yo, what is this? Man, we had to take turns fighting each other. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you make a move and I make a move. At first, I ain't like it, but then I got a little further. I was like, what are you supposed to do in the game? Like, I ain't know what you supposed to do, what you supposed to run to. Long story short, it was an RPG game, and I ain't never played it. And I I had to get into it to find out how to play it. First, there was a bunch of reading on top of that, and you know, I was in middle school. Who wants to read over and over and over again? But
Yeah.
I mean, so that was my first venture into RPG games, and I mean, I still like fighting games, and I never was a shooter guy. People was like, man, you played Call of Duty or you played, you know, Halo and this and that and the third. I'm like, nah, not really.
Oh,
I ain't, you know, I'm good. I play GoldenEye, you know what I'm saying?
right, right. It's Call of
But, you
Duty is
know,
another one. I can't believe I forgot about Activision. Well, Activision Blizzard.
yeah.
I can't believe I forgot about
Hey,
Call of
Activision is
Duty.
part going. I mean, to segue back into Destiny, Activision had Destiny. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Activision was the people who started Destiny, and
Yeah.
they definitely started that trying to take money from you stuff.
Oh, hard. I mean, people don't seem to realize that when they buy Call of Duty, it's the same thing every year. It's the same thing for the NFL Madden, the
Right,
NBA, the 2K, the FIFA, and these
right.
companies are making millions of dollars off of people each year buying the microtransaction stuff that's in these games. Um, and it was a big thing going on with NBA. It was a huge controversy where they was trying to. It was a battle pass. NBA, the new NBA 2K game had a battle pass in it.
What?
The game itself was like 60 $70 or whatever, depending
A
on whatever
battle
part you
pass.
buy. Yeah, but they put a battle pass in the NBA game.
So
A battle
enlighten me.
pass.
Enlighten me. What is a
Oh,
battle
okay, battle
pass? Because
pass.
I'm definitely not into. I know you got kids. You know what I'm saying? So you would know what a battle pass is.
All right, so
I mean,
a battle
I got a daughter
pass.
as well, but she don't play games as much.
A battle pass became really popular with Fortnite, and what it is, it's like um, you can play the game for free, which is Fortnite, and you can get free rewards. But the good rewards are locked behind something. So as you play the game, it shows a roadmap, like a straight line, and it shows all the goodies that's on that line. And you may skip two or three of them off, and then it
Okay,
say, "Here's the free one." But if you wanted to get the other stuff, you have to pay for the
you gotta
battle
pay
pass. The
for it.
battle pass.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's like the battle pass may be $20 or $40. I don't know, depends. And when you buy the battle pass, you can get the goodies as you play the game. So it
Right.
doesn't just give you the stuff; like you have to actually play the game to get access to the stuff on that's available for that season. But
Oh,
the thing
okay.
is, so that's what Overwatch 2 did. Um,
Oh, okay.
they
So
have a
yeah, I'm
yeah.
familiar. I think I'm familiar with that. That's some mobile gaming stuff. That
Yeah, but
basically, I
it
got this
started with
game
Fortnite.
called. Well, it probably did, but that's where I've seen it. I've seen it in this game. It's called Beat Stars. I use
Hmm.
on my phone. It's called Beat Stars, and it's basically like Guitar Hero for your phone. You know what I'm saying? It's like the tiles come down and you got to hit it on the right beat and everything like that. But then each month they have a certain selection of songs. If you play the game, you can get free like cases to open up. But then if you pay for the $9 or $15 uh season, then you can get those songs as well, but you still got to play the game though. You know what I'm saying? So
Ah,
you have to play the game, and then you have to. But the way mobile gaming is very, very like stealth like with well, not even stealth like. They're very stealth like with the money grubbing because they'll let you play for free and everything like that, but then you gotta wait a certain amount of time to unlock this or unlock that, and then you gotta keep coming back to the game just to play it, you know.
yes, yes. They definitely took a lot of psychology lessons and people who know what they're doing to manipulate people to feel like they have to, um, like the whole thing with the Diablo situation. I was watching someone talking about their battle pass situation. Now, mind you, these games are full price games, and they want you to pay to get the rewards in the game. And you know, Diablo is a loot based game, and they want you to pay for a battle pass to get access to the extra loot in a game that's all about getting loot. But
Yeah.
yeah, but they had it to where when you buy the stuff, it gives you a little bit over. So when you come to the other point where you buy the battle pass or whatever, like say for instance, if you play the game and if you play enough, you will get enough currency to buy the battle pass on one season. But they always give you a little bit more. So they're like, hey, don't you want to use this little bit that you can't spend nothing with because everything's over. But it's
Right.
like it's just sitting there. So you like it's like a psychological aspect where they're trying to make you feel like you have you have this free money, but if you put a little bit more money in, you can get something else.
Right.
So
Yeah.
uh, yeah,
Yeah, I mean, I know
it's
Destiny
crazy.
was Destiny definitely turned into that. Like Destiny 1 didn't have that. Then when they put in the Eververse in there where cuz like they try to sneakily slide in there with the money transaction stuff cuz Destiny 1 didn't have all that stuff. And
Right.
when it got down to it, they updated it and then you were like, "Okay, yeah, they got the Eververse, so you know, we can buy stuff and it's just cosmetic. It's just cosmetic. That was the
Hmm.
excuse they came up with. Like, but the game is about getting cosmetic stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like nobody was thinking
Right.
that. They was thinking like, well, it's just cosmetic. It's not helping you win the game. It's not helping you beat the game. You know what I'm saying? You can't buy a weapon or something like that. You can only to cheat is only cosmetic. But I was like, but the whole game is cosmetic. Like, you want to get loot, you
Exactly.
want to get armor and stuff like that. So soon as that came out, I was like, yeah, they about to flip. Then it's like I said, the whole love and hate relationship with it. They was like, Destiny's 2 is coming out, and I'm like, why do they need a second game? You know what I'm saying? Like, well, I thought this was a RPG. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Right. And it was
I thought
already
it was kind of
online.
like a, what is it, a World of Warcraft type game. You know what I'm
Oh,
saying? Where,
MMO.
yeah,
MMO.
like it is an MMO, right?
Yeah, supposedly.
Like, people
I mean,
online, they get to play. We do missions together. It's a social space, this and that and the third. So I would think it is an MMO. You know,
it behaves like one.
right? So I'm like, why is they coming out with a second game? I thought it was just an expansion to the first game, but no, this is a second game. And then they just say, well, we taking all the guns away. It's gonna be new guns. It's gonna be new mechanics because
Right.
it's just hard for us to do it on the first game. Like, we have to rebuild the whole game. And I was like,
Hmm.
okay. You know what I'm saying? Looking at them sideways,
Right.
like, okay. So we played it, and then, it was just lackluster, man. It was not that great. It was like, this doesn't have a complete story. Like, we already was kind of like dumbed down with the story. Like, we had to go in other sources to get the story, and I really wanted to know the story because it was just interesting to me. Like, when you play Destiny 1, it was a stranger that you don't even know their name. The name ended up being the stranger. You know what I'm saying? And then they tell you asking them what you're doing, and then you're like, I don't have no time to explain. You know what I'm
Yeah, I
saying?
got no time to explain why I ain't got no time to explain.
Right. And you're like, okay. So then you getting introduced to the story, but it's like you getting bits and pieces of it, and you don't get a full story. And then you have to go and find the lore on a different website or a different story. It's whole YouTube channels dedicated to this stuff. So I mean, I'm pretty sure
How
you guys
lazy
know
is
about
that?
Destiny or heard about Destiny, but I'm just telling you my experience with it because I've been a day one Destiny player. I mean, Jewels, you was a day one, right?
Yeah, I'm a day one Destiny player, and to this day, I still don't know
To
what
this
the
day.
story's about. I still don't know. That was my major complaint about Destiny as a whole. It's like it was. I mean, we know now the way that things went with everybody leaving and the production team and stuff. Probably the reason why I went to the crapper. But it's like now they had time to refine Destiny 2. They doing their own thing. Why people still don't really know what's going on? Like, why do you people still have to go outside the game to do stuff? You just feel like
Yeah.
you're a fetch. It's a fetch quest type game, and I don't know. It's just the way
I
it just
mean,
seems really, really lazy. Really lazy.
it is lazy. That's the thing. Is like, I know you're so scorned. You're scorned. Like, you like, look,
Oh yeah,
I already see what they doing. And I do too. But like I
it
said, it's
won't
like
hurt
a
me
bad
again.
relationship, man. It's like abusive relationship. You know what I'm saying? Because I want to like the game so much. I want it to be good. But you're doing dumb stuff. Like
For it
not
to be
giving
like
us
your
the
first
story in the
shooter,
game. I'm sorry.
I said for it like to be your first shooter too, like your first looter shooter, and it's
Right.
like it's abusing you so much. Like I had to get out that relationship because I saw what was happening. It kept lying to me, and it wasn't going to change. It was just going to
Right.
continue to take stuff like Destiny. I looked at the way they do theirs is crazy. Like in order for you, even though it's free now, for order for you to even get any of the other stuff, of course you will have to buy the uh the new updates. But of the whatever they call them, I don't know what they call them, expansions. They still call them that. I don't know,
Well,
but
they changed
they
it. They
are
changed it to seasons now. So like you
seasons,
get a
but
season.
they're full price games. These
Right.
seasons are expensive, and I'm like, what? Like they made it so where you still instead of you paying one price for the video game and maybe $20 for the season pass, they're charging a game per season. That is crazy to me. And if
I
you
mean, I
don't
think the
have
highest
that
it
season, you
has
don't get
gotten
it.
now, the highest it has gotten now is probably like $70 or maybe
That
$90.
is
Like you can
crazy.
get like the
That's
special pass
crazy.
with all this battle stuff, like you say, and all this season pass. Because what they have is an expansion or a uh like a saga, I guess you would call it. But and then you will have throughout the months until the next. See, that was the problem with Destiny. I mean, not to cut you off, but the problem with Destiny is that you would have to wait long periods before the next thing come out. So what they did was that they'll have like a story development arc, and then you just have to play the game, and you just do a bunch of repetitive stuff until the next season or the next saga comes out. So the way they try to solve that now is that they'll come up with the season. You have to pay for that, but in between that, there's mini seasons, or I can't recall because I haven't played it in a while, but it's basically mini events in the middle of that until the next season comes, and that's when they do that thing you was talking about, the battle pass, where you'll basically have to play all that month to get stuff to upgrade your armor and stuff like that. Like the best way to upgrade your armor is to get to play that season pass and do the events in that season pass. But you know, you still have to do repetitive things like play weekly strikes and play the nightfall and replay raids and stuff like that you already have done in the game.
Right.
It's not a
You gotta
continuous
chase
story
that
like
power.
World of Warcraft or anything like that.
It's the end game. The end game is just you all about just running around trying to collect gear, killing these same old spawns, and then trying to find someone to do the raid with. And it's just it was very very tedious. And I mean I guess that's some of the MMO stuff, but I don't know. I just didn't like the fact that um, it just constantly kept on taking and giving, and then they had nerf the best stuff. It's like every time it'll be a good weapon, and it's like okay, we're tired of everybody using the cannon meta. Let's change it to the pulse rifles. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? And they claim it if they're trying to do checks and balances. I said, but of course, people are just going to stop using hand cannons now because you didn't nerf them to the ground. So what makes you think that people is going to keep using hand cannons over pulse rifles? Now the next update, well, too many people's using pulse rifles, so we're gonna upscale Scott rifles. And I'm like, well, it's like to me, I feel like the devs just get bored of people playing with the same gun, so they just buff and nerf
Well,
what
I
they
mean,
want.
but I mean, to you, it sounds like they're taking the fun out of the game. But to me, it sounds like, well, we got to do something to keep people playing the game. Because like,
But
if you play with the same guns over and over, like I understand in Borderlands, the guns were special, and this is how it's supposed to be in Destiny as well. Like the guns supposed to be
no,
special. Like you have legendary and exotic weapons, so why are you nerfing them? You know what I'm saying? You played the game, you got your loot, but now they're taking it away and saying that, well, scout rifle is going to do less damage now because people are using the scout rifle so much. I get it. That's taking the fun away from it. But then also, if they keep doing that, then the people who really are the sweats, or the people who try hard to pop you as soon as you spawn, is gonna exclude those people who is just starting the game because they won't be able to have that scout rifle or that hand cannon or something like that. So they got to switch it up for they can be able to play. The new people be able to play, and that was definitely a big thing about Destiny 2 is that they were catering to the new audience that was coming in instead of the people who was actually playing the game so much. And I mean, I understand exactly what you're saying.
but see, my whole thing is instead of just nerfing the gun, there's a reason why people were playing with these other type of guns because they was crap. The damage was crap. So why don't they just buff those guns to compete with the guns that's already good instead of nerfing the good guns? You know what I'm saying? It's like
Yeah.
it didn't make any sense to me.
Look, we can
You
have a whole podcast about which I've listened to plenty of podcasts about
oh
how
my
Destiny could
gosh.
fix their game. You know what I'm saying? Definitely, but we already like they're greedy, man. Basically, after uh they did a Capcom with me. You know what I'm saying? Capcom was really in a bad situation with me because I love fighting games. I love Street Fighter, stuff like that. And then I love Tekken. So it was other fighting games I like. But then when it came out with Tekken Cross Street Fighter, I was like, oh shit, I get to play with Tekken people and Street Fighter people. And
Oh
I
yeah.
spent my hard earned money to buy that game. Now, I was such a blind follower of Capcom because I love Street Fighter that I didn't notice that they kept coming out with the same game over and over and over again, but just different iterations of it, like Street Fighter 2, Street Fighter Turbo, Street Fighter Alpha, Alpha. You know what I'm saying? It's the same
Yeah,
games. They might
same
add one
stuff.
or two
Right.
people. You know what I'm saying? Or
Right.
put a turbo mode in it. And then I love Marvel vs. Capcom, so I was really in that game. Marvel vs. Capcom 2, Marvel vs. Capcom. I used to go to the arcades and play those. And I remember when I got my Dreamcast, Marvel vs. Capcom 2 was one of the games I had gotten. But I loved it. I love playing with Spider-Man. Like I said, once again, back to Spider-Man. It's always going to get back to Spider-Man with me anyway. But yeah, it was a fighting game. And now I was like, oh, they got Tekken and Street Fighter together, man. And this is where they got me. They was like, well, Tekken, Street Fighter gets to use Tekken characters in their style of making a game, and then Tekken gets to use Street Fighter characters in their style of making a game. So this was something
Yeah,
that
I
had never
remember
been
that.
done before. I was like, yo, I'm about to buy both of these games and see,
Yep.
because I love Tekken and I love Street Fighter. You know what I'm saying? But what happened is when I bought Street Fighter, because Capcom came out first with a game, and I was like, yeah, I'm getting Street Fighter versus Tekken. It was cool, but then I was like beating the game, playing the game, and then I was like, I'm trying to get these extra characters that they got, but they wasn't unlocking for some reason. And this was like the first time I was like, yo, I beat the game, and they ain't giving me no hidden character. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, what's going on? So I was like, what I gotta do? These characters was already on the game. This is before they even had the connect to the internet thing. I think it was PlayStation 3 or something. Maybe PlayStation 2. I think it was PlayStation 3. Yeah. So they was like, this is before it was a live service game. It wasn't like, I was like, this is a fighting game. You know what I'm saying? Everything is on the
Right.
fighting game. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna get these characters and then I'm gonna see how this character plays. But it was at least 12 characters that was on the game that was locked. And then I found out that they were locked in the game and you had to pay for when the DLC comes out. But they're already on the game.
Right. Exactly. But to make them playable, you got to give them a little bit more money.
I'm like, what the fuck, dog? I was
Hmm.
like, man, from there on, I was like, fuck Capcom. I ain't never fucking with them again, blah, blah, blah. You know what I'm saying? It was like, it was real bad for me. And then they messed up Marvel vs. Capcom 3. Um, well, Marvel vs. Capcom 3 was okay, but Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite, boy, boy, boy. You know what I'm saying? It was
What? I didn't even
horrible.
know that was a. Oh, that was a thing. I forgot
Yeah,
all
it was
about
a
that
thing.
game.
Yeah, it was a thing. So I was like, yeah, they just ain't my cup of tea no more, man. And that was like they just doing shady practices because then I tried them one more time. I was like, let me buy Street Fighter 5, yo. I'm gonna buy Street Fighter 5. But then
Hmm.
it only had like 8 characters on it. And I ain't even buy it. This is when Redbox was popping, yo. You remember Redbox?
Yeah, I
People act
remember.
like they don't even remember Redbox no more. Yeah,
Yeah, I
so
think it was game changer back then.
yeah,
The
so
Red
I went to
Box.
Redbox and rented the games because I was like, "Oh, Redbox sell games now. It's $2 a day, man." You know what I'm saying? We thought that was a
Hmm.
deal. Shit, we sitting here
Yeah.
trying to play a game that's gonna take us 80 hours to play. You know what I'm saying? But it's
And
two
we over
dollars
here
a
paying
day,
$2 a day, right? We just see it short minded. Just seeing about the little money the money you
right?
saving. You're like, man, I could it's be being $60. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I'm telling you, that
But
psychology.
I got Street Fighter Five. I rented it from the Red Box. I went to Food Line. I was like, yo, I got my $2. I'm gonna see what this Street Fighter Five is about, cause I damn sure ain't buying no game from them. You know what I'm saying? After they did me like that with Tekken versus Street Fighter, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I rented that joint. I put it in. I loaded it up. It had like 8 characters on there. I played the story mode. They ain't even have a cutscene. They had like this poorly drawn cutscenes for the characters, and I was like, that's all? I beat the game in that one day. So it only cost me $2 to beat the game. You know what I'm saying? So I'm
Wow.
like, okay, I'm done. I took it back to Redbox. You know what I'm saying? It took that game 3 to 4 years to get all the characters on there.
Wow. That's
Right.
crazy. That is ridiculous.
I was like, yeah, Capcom, you done, man. You just turn in your badge. You're fired.
I mean, if you look at how much these companies are making off of these decisions, it's like, I mean, it's a no brainer. You know, you ever heard? You know, the Diablo Immortal. You ever heard of that, right?
Right.
The Diablo game. It was like, do you not have phones and stuff like that? They
I
said,
haven't played any of the Diablos, but I have heard of it. I know it's like a scroller type of game where it's like a top down type of game, right?
it's another looter game where it's all about collecting loot and killing strong monsters to get the best loot and get the best build and stuff like that. Um, that's pretty much the premise of the game. It's like a hack and slash looter, and you know, back then in 1 and 2 was the best ones. I never played them. I started at 3, um, and 3 had its own things going on. But then people was waiting for the new one to come out, which was supposed to be Diablo 4, which did come out, but they screwed that up so bad. But they had the whole infamous Diablo Immortal mobile game, and
Right.
now mind you, a game will be $60 or $70 just for the base game. This is a free mobile game, and a
Right.
user. There's a record of a user spent $100,000
Mm.
on Diablo Immortal, and he paid 100 grand to max out his character. That's how much he cost to max his character out. And since his
Wow.
character was so strong, he was too powerful to play with anybody. So this man literally paid all this money to max out his character to the max power ever, and could no longer play the game. He broke the game because when he goes to matchmaking, he's too damn strong. He can't play with anyone because no one's close to his level.
I mean,
That's crazy.
that sounds dumb on his part, and it sounds like a win for them who got
Oh, it's a win.
$100,000. No, a win for
It's
the
a win.
devs.
That's what I'm saying. It's a win for them, of course. You know what
Yeah, I
I'm saying?
mean,
Like,
but
it's
it's
a free
dumb on his
game. It
part.
costs
You
100
paid
grand.
$100,000. You would have put another $100,000 on there. You could have made your own game.
Exactly. 100 grand. Like,
Yeah.
who does that? Who spent $100,000 on a free game? I think, hey, you want to get to the mobile market? We need to start making some mobile
Right.
games. Because I
Oh yeah,
swear,
definitely.
$100,000, 100 grand and if you think about how games cost about $70 now, so there's no brainer that these games is coming out with free to play with battle passes and stuff
Right.
like that. Because you got people out there who's willing to throw the money.
Yeah,
For
Destiny
me and you
Destiny
won't
is free
spend
to
the
play
money,
now.
the other one person will. Yeah,
Yeah.
but they made a hell of a lot more being free to play. A heck of a
Yeah,
lot
I'm
more.
pretty sure. Yeah, I mean they got the Eververse still. I mean, like people complain about how the game doesn't work sometimes, but the Eververse always goddamn popping. You know what I'm saying? It ain't never got it ain't never got no problems. Every season they got some new stuff. They be like, yo, I bet you that card reader work, dog. That card reader work.
Yeah,
But I
they
mean,
selling you
talking
shaders.
about Destiny. What would get you back into Destiny, man? I mean, I know this is
Oh
a
my
loaded
God.
question, man, but
Oh
Cause,
my
cause
God.
look, we got right now. Supposedly, you don't know what the story is. I watch people like My Name Is Bife. Shout out to My Name Is Bife on, you know what I'm saying, YouTube, and he has these long ass videos, soothing voice, basically explaining the story of Destiny and how Sabathun did this and blah blah blah, and the Worm God and all this stuff like that. Because he sat there and read all the lore and found out the lore, and then this new game came out. I mean, the new I guess new season. They was teasing that this is the end of Destiny 1 story or something like that, or Destiny story, or saga. They call it the Light and Dark saga. And Lightfall came out. And he played Lightfall, man, and that thing was like he didn't even know what was going on. And I was like, the whole community was like, how my name is Bife don't know what's going on, man. You know what I'm saying?
That's it's a problem. You don't know.
You know it's a problem when
His
your
whole
biggest
job.
content creator, right? Your biggest content creator don't know nothing about what's going on. Like, it was so lackluster, man. And this was, see, they like I said, they Capcom me because I was gonna get back into it. I was like, oh, this the end, this the end. So I downloaded it on the PS5, and I was like, let me go ahead and see what changed in the game. You know what I'm saying? And then I just basically would watch the campaign on YouTube. You know what I'm saying? Just watch somebody play it on YouTube. And I would just pick it back up when something interesting happens in the game. And I have a friend named Leah. Shout out to Leah. She works at GameStop. She's the manager at GameStop. But she always telling me about Destiny. She wants me to play with her and this and that. But she buys every expansion that comes out. And
Oh my
I'm like,
gosh.
man, I'll be playing with her. She'll be online. She'll be like, oh, I'm about to play the new campaign. I'll be like, look, I ain't bought the campaign since Forsaken or blah, 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 since the last one. It probably be like five seasons that went by. I haven't played it since then. So I ain't strong enough, or I ain't got the weapons, and I ain't got the meta weapons that everybody's playing with, this and that and third. So I would just go in there and play some PvP, but then the game don't care about PvP. The game doesn't care about PvP. Like, they will
That's not where the
basically
money is.
they won't put up no new maps. They won't put up no new challenges. They won't do anything at all to PvP, and so they just worry about their lackluster story that they're telling, and that's it. So I mean, I know I just probably deterred you from the question, but
Oh man,
how
you gonna
would
ask me
you,
what would
or
take? Oh god.
what would get you back into Destiny 2 or Destiny?
Take everything you said and don't do that. That's pretty much.
I mean that sounds like a plan,
That's
dog. It definitely do.
that's
You
pretty
know.
much what would take me to get back into Destiny 2 is for them to simply don't do everything that we complain about that they currently are doing. Give me a story. Stop making me be a fetch quest. Um, and give me some meaning to the reasoning to why I'm doing stuff instead of people just telling me to go here, go right, go left.
Okay,
Um,
so let me ask you this. So if Destiny became all story, would you be cool with it?
I like the PvP. I enjoy playing PvP on Destiny. So it's not just all story. I just like to know what the heck I'm doing and make it meaningful. You know, it was very meaningful back in the day when you did night falls and stuff like that because you had a chance to get like an exotic and when you got an exotic, you know what I'm saying, if it was the one you was looking for, you like heck yeah, it felt good to get the
So me
exotic
me
that
and
you
you
wanted.
talk me and you talked at length plenty of times about how we could fix Destiny. You know what I'm saying? But I think that will solve everything if everything was story based. All the missions you did was story based. Now PvP is a totally different story, but if everything you did was story based and had a story behind it, then would you still play it? Like, let's say there's 20, let's fix the game real quick. So uh what if there was only 20 exotics in the game, and each
Okay.
exotic had a mission that you had to do? You know what I'm saying? And throughout the certain point of the game, you learn about things, and this gun has some significance. Now, once you get this game, get this gun or get this mission. Like, they can be secret missions, but you have to play the content to get it. You know what I'm saying? Or you have to get to a certain point to get this exotic, or maybe not. Maybe you can, just stumble upon it, and not be strong enough for it. I miss the days of Destiny 1 when I had to use the icebreaker. And man, I love that icebreaker, dog. The ice, like this, it was well, for people who don't know, the
That's a
icebreaker was
machine
a
gun.
sniper, huh?
Sniper rifle. Okay,
Yeah,
it's a
it was a
sniper rifle.
sniper
I couldn't remember
rifle
it was a machine
that
gun.
replenished its ammo because Destiny was ammo based. You know what I'm saying? So you had to
I
kill the
remember.
enemies, and you had to pick
Yeah.
up the ammo and the heavy ammo and this and that and third. But this was the icebreaker. So like we would sit here and try to do the raids and everything or the strikes, and we would have to sit in the back, and whoever had the icebreaker, they would have a chance because they wouldn't run out of bullets because these bosses were super powerful. Like they shoot you, you be
Oh
dead.
yeah.
So like,
It was bullet sponges.
right, bullet sponges basically. And you would be hiding behind a rock or something like that for a good 30 to 40 minutes, popping them with the icebreaker. You know what I'm saying? And the
Right.
same thing with the Galahorn and all that stuff like that. So I mean, but let's just say those 20 exotics had a story behind it, and it told more of the story behind the game. And the same thing with the loot, it had a story behind it, or the armor and stuff like that. Like, yeah, the raids you get specialty armor, but I'm talking about all the armor. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I think.
wouldn't
I
that
think
solve the problem?
no,
Because
because they tried that with exotic quests on Destiny 2. You had the exotic quest where you had to do to get the certain exotics, but it doesn't matter to have a story if the story is lackluster, and is explained in riddles. Because Destiny 2 likes to do that. It likes to explain everything in riddles.
right,
Um, so if it needs to be more clear onto, and it has to give me a reason to care. Other than the gun looks cool and it shoots well. I have to have a reason to know. If people who really wants to know, like my name is Bob, that's different. Or people who follow him, like such as yourself, they want to know more about the lore. But someone like me, who was gradually losing interest, I didn't want to go the extra mile to know more about it. And when I tried, it still didn't seem as interesting listening to what's going on because it still sounded like it was all over the place. So I don't think story is more story is going to fix it. I think correcting the story and the way it's being told will fix it. Um, yeah, because don't get me wrong. The guy's making a career off of it, but it's getting to the point where he can't even figure out what the heck is going on. Like you said on one thing, it's like they're making up stuff as it goes, and
all
it's
right,
like the whole thing with the traveler and all that stuff and that reveal, and it's like what is this? What's going on?
right.
I don't know.
That had to probably be a different podcast, but I could probably update you. I had to do like a Pierre tales or a Pierre story of how Destiny is what it is because, like I said, I'm interested in the story because I'm a story writer. I'm a, comic book artist or whatever, and it's very alluring to me on how this story could be great, but they just, drip feeding it, drip feeding it, and drip feeding it. That's how I've gotten out of a lot of anime because they'll drip feed me the story, man. And I mean, not to, you know, y'all gonna hate me for this, but I've never watched One Piece because I don't
Me neither.
see how it takes that long to tell that story. You know what I'm saying? It shouldn't take that long to tell that story. Like, I know a lot about One Piece, but I don't understand why it takes this long. So
But you was into Dragon Ball, and Dragon Ball it just keeps on going and
I know,
going and
but
going.
Dragon Ball Z has a continuous story. It has sagas, and that saga, Dragon Ball Z doesn't have a MacGuffin. One Piece does. One Piece, the MacGuffin is the One Piece. So you telling me you done got 1,700 issues or episodes, and you haven't gotten to the One Piece yet? That's like in
or
Dragon
even
Ball
close,
if they
right?
never got to the Dragon Balls. That'd be
Yeah.
dumb. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, not to call y'all dumb. You know, y'all
Yeah,
can love One
one
Piece. I
punch
ain't
fans.
giving y'all opinion. I'm just saying that sound dumb to me. You know that, but because it doesn't take that long for that to happen. And yeah, I understand some things might happen in the story that's interesting. He might have some people he's battling. I think I talked to somebody at work the other day who loves One Piece, and I was at work, and he was sitting here, man. I wish somebody read the One Piece manga because I want to talk about what's going on in the manga. And so I started asking him questions about One Piece. And you know, my homie Stefan ain't here to defend One Piece. You know what I'm saying? He's supposed to have been
Right.
on the podcast, but you know, he got a life just like everybody else. So he was telling me that the things that was happening, and I was like, how old is Luffy? That was the one question I asked him. He was like, "Oh man, he probably like uh 20, 20, no, like 19." I'm like, "So how much time has passed since he started?" "Oh, it's probably been like 5 years." I'm like, "What? 5 years? Are you serious?" He was like, "Yeah, man, it was they had the beginning part, and then they did a time skip, and it was only like 2 years, this and that and the third." I'm like, "And you still ain't finished?" He was like, "Yeah, the whole thing only been 5 years so far." I'm like, "No, I'm good. I'm good. 5 years, bro."
Oh wow.
I mean, look,
That is a good
look.
long time.
People can watch what they want to watch, man. I'm cool, but I'm not that big of a fan of some super long running series that has,
It's like a story that never ends.
yeah, it's like it has an ending. It does. The ending is fine in the One Piece, but you don't want to end it, right?
I mean, yeah, that's why I like stories like Demon Slayer or uh, uh, Bleach. You know, I mean, don't get me wrong, they got their shonen aspects too, but there's other anime off the grid that a lot of people won't know of, like Beyond the Boundary. You know, it's like
Yeah,
it's just one season. And it's not even one season. It's just one couple of episodes, a couple of episodes, maybe 12, 15 episodes, and the story's over with. And that's fine. You know, you
right.
don't have to keep going and going and going. They got to the goal, and that's where they need to go to. But these things are done on purpose because they got to sell that merchandise and all the other stuff. So it's continuously going on purpose.
Yeah, I mean, I get it if
So
you
I
got
can
a
get it.
story to tell, but honestly, come on, like the best stories aren't that long. You know what I'm saying? They have a, a beginning, a middle, and an end. Like you can't have a beginning, a middle, and 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 a middle. You know what I'm saying? Like you gotta have an end.
Right.
Like, and then I mean, I was like, well, look, I wouldn't even try to hop into One Piece until the end. You know what I'm saying? because
Yeah.
because I want to know why it took that long. You get what I'm saying? Like one of my
Well,
favorite. I mean, I know we talking about anime and it's supposed to be the gaming podcast, but you know what I'm saying? We nerds, we do stuff like this. So, um, yeah, one of my favorite anime is Full Metal Alchemist, and that's not
oh
a
yeah.
long story at all, man. You need to have a beginning, middle, and end, and be comprehensive. I'm pretty sure that a lot of these people who watch One Piece now, um, just are is watching it because they watch so much of it. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah, like you,
I'm
you kind of have you invested, so it's not like it'd be a waste if you don't finish it because you
right.
did this much time into it.
And then they gotta just say, look, man, it's the best anime ever because I've been watching it for 30 years. And I was like, okay. I mean, I can say that about Dragon
30
Ball.
years.
Yeah, yeah,
30 years.
yeah. I mean, I can say that about Dragon Ball Z, but I myself as an adult, now that I'm an adult, when I was a kid watching Dragon Ball Z, I can sit there and watch them scream for 30 minutes. You know what I'm saying? But now I'm like, what is Goku doing? Like, I need
Exactly.
something to happen, bro. Like, why does he his hair keep changing color? Like, I get it. You're just gonna
I
keep
ain't gonna
getting
lie to
stronger
you.
and stronger.
I lost interest after Boo, when they started doing the whole Super God, Super Saiyan, and all that stuff.
Yeah,
I was like, yeah, this shit ain't. I said, this man just gonna. It's always gonna be someone else stronger, and
right,
he just gonna continue to get more and more forms. And I was like, it's the same thing. It's the whole MacGuffin thing, like you said for One Piece. Their whole thing is chasing the One Piece. I guess their whole thing in Dragon Ball is to be the strongest, but they'll never be the strongest
right.
because every time they're strong, someone else coincidentally shows up that's stronger than them. Every time, it's like they're never gonna meet their max. So,
Right.
hey,
I
sell that
mean,
merchandise, sell them toys.
yeah, that's why I feel like I like Naruto and then I can't watch Baruto or Baruto because I get it as the next generation, but it could have a story. I will watch Baruto once it's over, because it could have
Right,
a compelling story. But like the story was about Naruto and it was a continuous story about how he became Hokage. And I was like, okay, I get it now. You know what I'm saying? Like it had
right,
threats and just like Dragon Ball Z, like, Goku had the Saiyan saga, then he had the Frieza saga, and then he had the Android saga. Like that's a continuous story, but it's like the the things that happen in those sagas are important to the story. People age.
right,
You know what I'm saying? Like I
right.
don't want to know how many pirates Luffy done fought, and he still haven't gotten to the One Piece yet.
Nigga,
You know what I'm saying?
he
Like,
stole the
oh,
whole. I think like the whole beginning, he stole a map to the Grand Line, so he has a map.
yeah, I
Like,
understand that. Yeah, I understand.
so
That's what I'm
why
saying. And he got a
is it taking
crew
so long?
and this and that and third. Like, what else? Like,
Yeah,
I get it. I can only watch so many pirates he fight, and some of them can be cool and some of them can be whack. You know what I'm saying? But
right.
like, what is the main story? Like, people tell me they don't even still know where the fruit come from, and I'm like,
Oh, the
what?
devil fruit.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
like, people don't know where the fruit came from, and it's been 1,700 issues. Boy, oh boy, got to do better, man. I mean,
Oh yeah, that stuff that's coming out on the fly. Like, yeah, I don't know. It's. I mean, I never could get into One Piece because of the animation. It's the reason why I couldn't get to it. But the Netflix series seems pretty interesting. I do like the Netflix series, and that's kind of a thing with people who watch the show when they come out with a live action. They're like, oh, that sucked. Like with at what the last Airbender. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? Off the Avatar Last Airbender or Death Note. We watched the actual shows. We're like, oh man, he did a terrible job. But
right,
I think the show's so good because I never watched the
right,
anime.
because you don't know
So I
nothing
don't
about it,
know.
right? Yeah,
I don't know nothing about it. So the show was good to me, but maybe it sucked to the people who
right.
know.
To the,
But
I
I ain't
mean,
gonna lie to
not.
you, I
I
like
mean,
it.
honestly, I haven't heard anything bad about the show, so I'm pretty sure that it is good, and I will give it a chance. Look, don't get me wrong, guys. I'm not hating on One Piece. You know what I'm saying? If anybody I hate is Wolverine. You know what I'm saying? Don't get me started on
Wolverine.
Wolverine. Yes, Wolverine. Don't
Wolverine.
get me started on Wolverine, Jewels. Don't get me started on
What are you talking about? Actual Wolverine? Like,
Wolverine the character. Yes, Marvel.
why?
Oh my god. I said don't get me started, man.
You mentioned it.
Look, we gotta get back
Because I'm
on track,
curious.
man. We gotta get back on track and
Man, no,
start talking
screw
about
that. I want to know what's up with you and Wolverine. What does have to do with anything we was just talking about?
because
I was just curious. Yeah.
so let's get back to the gaming. So What's one of your favorite franchises, or what is your favorite franchise?
Huh. I used to have a favorite franchise because not because of well, it was because of the quality of the game, but they didn't have too many I played, and that was CD Projekt Red and their practices with Witcher 3. So they used to be my favorite, but then they kind of screwed the pooch with Cyberpunk. Um, I don't really have a favorite franchise right now. I guess I'm rooting for the people who created Baldur's Gate. They sound pretty cool. So I guess any gaming franchise that has good practices amongst the people is my favorite. I put it like
Well, I
that.
mean, when I think you might have misunderstood the question. So when I say franchise, that means like
Oh, I'm
is it?
thinking about gaming companies. I'm thinking about oh damn. I'm thinking about gaming companies, not the games themselves. As far as uh, okay, all
Yeah,
right.
I'm saying like if it was you know
I get what you're saying. I
story
get what you're
based
saying.
game that you like to play. I guess
Maybe
Witcher,
Borderlands.
the
Borderlands.
Borderlands.
I haven't played Witcher 1 or Witcher 2. The Witcher 3
Okay.
is the only one I played, and I still haven't beaten it yet. But the Borderlands is the only game that I've repeatedly bought on different consoles. I have Borderlands 1 through 3 on PlayStation and on Xbox. Um, I didn't play the Tall Tale games, but I listened to a YouTuber talk about the story of Borderlands. I
What
gotta get
Tall Tale
his name.
is that like the Walking Dead games,
Yeah,
or
it's
that's
Tall Tales.
Telltale?
No, it's well, it's the same people who did the Left 4 Dead and the Batman. They did
Left 4
one
Dead.
for
They
not
did
Left
Left
4
4 Dead.
Dead. Not what I say. I said Batman. Oh, what's that freaking show
The
that's really
Walking
talking
Dead.
about the dead people? Walking Dead.
I just
They
said that, man.
yeah. So they did them. Yeah. Um, but I like
So what
listening
is a
to the lore.
Borderlands game that they did?
Yes, they did a Borderlands game. They did a couple of them.
Oh, okay.
Eruption Fang. Eruption Fang. That's the name of the YouTuber. He gives like a whole explanation of the Borderlands timeline. He does a lot of Borderlands content talking about the lore, and I actually like listening to the lore because I like the game a lot. And yeah, so I say that was my favorite franchise, Borderlands. It's the only game that I can continuously play um,
Right.
over and over again.
Hey Pierre, what's your favorite gaming franchise? Oh, my favorite family.
Wolverine,
Oh, my
the
my favorite
Wolverines.
gaming franchise. Did you ask me what was my favorite gaming franchise? Oh,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
my favorite gaming franchise. No, I'm just joking with you, man. My favorite gaming franchise is God of War, man. You know what I'm saying? God of War. I've been playing it since PlayStation One, and it just gotten better and better every time. And like it grew with me. Like it was a great game just to play to get your anger out, you know. And I like lore stuff, so I mean I like Egyptian culture, but I also like Greek culture, and it was like right in there with the Greek culture stuff. So God of War is will be my favorite franchise. And have you ever played any of the God of Wars or
I
no
played
running the
all of
story?
them besides I played all of them besides the very last one that came out for the PlayStation 5 or was it out for the PlayStation 4? It was for
Mm,
PS4, right?
I think
Um,
it was just five.
really? I thought they had it. I thought it came out for the 4 as well, and they updated on the 5. No,
No, no,
I
I
know they came
think
out with it.
the last one that came out. No, the one just came out. I think last year or this year. It was the second. It was God of War Ragnarok, but God of War, basically God of War 4. when he had his son and everything. That was in
Mm-hmm.
PS4 era, but then you know PS5 came out because this new God of War Ragnarok that came out. They used to sell it with bundles with the PS5, or they sold it with bundles with the PS5.
Okay.
And I
So
mean,
yeah,
that's
that's the only
exactly
one.
why I got my PS5 because I was gonna play God of War and Spider Man. you know,
Yeah,
I did a whole
those.
upgrade to the entertainment system just to play those games. I got a 75-inch television, 4K Samsung, and we got that first. And then right after that, we stacked up some money. Me and the lady, we went in on a PlayStation 5. Like we found a deal. For a while it was hard trying to find one because people was
Strappers. Yeah.
yeah, but we waited it out and they had one for sale on Walmart.com and it came in a bundle. It was 500 or I think it was 400, but it came with Horizon Zero Dawn, and we got it, and we've been she's been playing a whole lot more than I have, but you know we love it. I mean, we're big PlayStation guys, people over here. I don't know about you. Are you an Xbox guy?
Um, you know what? When it comes to the whole console things, again, I just look at which one has the better practices. Um, I had Xbox, and then I kept getting the red ring of death. So then I switched to PlayStation, and PlayStation had some good first party games. Xbox at the time didn't really have any games like that. Um, and then with the whole merger with Xbox supposed to be buying Blizzard and all that stuff, and the Game Pass, I said, well, let me go back to Xbox, and that's what I did. So, I mean,
All
I
right.
don't own a PS5, and at the time it was extremely hard to get one. But you know, if I can just get all these games on Game Pass and stuff, which I still really don't really play, um, I don't know. I just like the way the practices was, so I just went with that. So I don't really have a favorite console.
Right.
Just
I
which
mean,
ones let me play the games.
I guess it was more the exclusives on the PlayStation. I'm sorry, on the PlayStation. That's what makes me a PlayStation guy. So Last of Us, God of War, Spider Man, stuff like that. That was exclusive to the PlayStation One. They just had better solo games to me. I did play Halo for a little bit when I was in college, but it was more on the computers, and they just didn't have. I played Gears of War. It wasn't really that good to me, but those are shooter games. So,
Right.
um,
Well,
but
yeah,
I
you love
mean,
Destiny.
yeah, and I do love Destiny, but I mean, Xbox now has a exclusive game. Have you heard or have you been seeing it? Any word about what's going on with it?
Oh, you talking about with Starfield? That goes revert to a segue
Yeah,
we was talking about well
I
long.
know exactly. You like that segue,
Uh,
don't you? Yeah.
Starfield. It's by Bethesda, so I had my doubts on that. You know what I'm saying? But from what I'm hearing, it's a pretty decent, good game. It's not my type of game, but it's funny that we was just talking about the whole console wars things, and they
Right.
got on her because she works for PlayStation, but
On
she
who
was
is her?
streaming Alana
Oh,
Pierce. She works for PlayStation, and she
uh huh.
streamed herself playing Starfield, and the people was like, how dare you betray PlayStation? You know what I'm saying? Like
Right.
people was mad. It was like, how are you gonna betray your company and all this, that, and third? And she was like, what? Like, what are y'all talking about? Like, is this real right now?
Right.
You know what I'm
Man, this
saying?
is
Like,
it's just the economy now, man. I mean, not the economy,
man,
but the social economy, man. Because like people will get upset and throw fits about everything because everybody got a voice now, man. Like what? I can't be a gamer. I can't. I can only play PlayStation games.
Right.
Wow.
She's like, I'm a
Wow.
developer. I work for Xbox. I work for PlayStation. I did all.
Right.
She said, we don't care about the console wars. She's in the industry, they don't care about the console wars. They
Right.
just care about good games. These are something that people would be caring about. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? But yeah, they felt some type of way about that. It was really hot. They was like, the PlayStation know about this? You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Like,
I
dang. Like,
mean, yeah. I mean, look, man. PlayStation got some shady practices too, as well. Because,
oh
like, I love
man.
PlayStation, but they be doing stuff, man. They just be doing stuff. Like, I just don't get it, man. But well, I mean, I know you heard about PSN going up on the price. Like they
Yeah.
already made it with the PS5 where you have to have like PlayStation Essential, and then they've got a PlayStation Standard, and then a PlayStation Plus kind of thing. I can't remember what they call, but basically you could play streaming games on there. But I remember when it was streaming games on the PS3, and I mean the PS4, and it wasn't really that good. Games that you could stream. Like I get it. That's why a lot of people, like, once again on the last podcast we was talking about people just going to piracy. Piracy,
Right.
emulators, this and that and the third. Because like, what is the point? Like, what's the point of doing that? You know, like you are the best selling console of the last 3 years. Why do you have to? Why do you have to do that? Like, why do you have to make your PSN more or your online players? You're just hurting the gaming industry.
Yeah, I don't get why they have so many different versions. It sounds like they're just doing the whole greedy models of why there's so many games, like you talking about with Marvel, with Street Fighter. It sounds like that they're doing the same thing with the Street Fighter Alpha, Street Fighter this. You know what I'm saying? It's like, here's your PlayStation PSN, then here's your PlayStation PSN this, and I guarantee it doesn't take that much money for you to stream those old games that they got on
Right. I
there for all
mean,
the stuff.
look at Nintendo. Like Nintendo, they got shady practices too, but they keep their stuff to the chest, man. Like all our games is our games, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That's what they say. And if you get a Switch, then you can buy the games if you want to. You can buy the first Mario. You can buy this and that. You can buy the games if you want to play on the Switch. But
But they
the
also
reason
have
is,
the online that gives
yeah,
you, depending on which version you get, gives you the games as well. And it's not expensive. It's not that expensive at all for
right,
that. It's like what, $20? $20
right,
for the membership or
yeah. But I
whatever. It's
mean,
like,
this
come
the
on.
Switch is like the first gaming console they had with the online capability, or store
No,
or whatever.
the Wii, Nintendo Wii, you can buy games of that because
Well,
I
I'm
had
talking
bought
about.
Donkey Kong and stuff.
I might be misunderstand. I mean, not misunderstanding, but misspoke. I meant like where you. It has like, isn't the Switch like the first gaming console on the Nintendo where they had like a network, like a PlayStation network type of thing, where you can you know
PlayStation.
subscribe or whatever and pay a
Something
monthly
like
fee.
you talking about like the online? Yeah,
Yeah,
it used to be free. To my knowledge, yeah, this is the first time they're actually making you pay to play online. If
right.
I'm not mistaken, I'm not sure if the Wii U was like that or not. I don't recall paying
Right.
a subscription to be online with the Wii U, but I
Yeah, I
could be
mean,
wrong.
look, man, I'm old, so I mean, I'm old school. From the way gaming has. I was born in '85, so that's right around when games start. What I'm saying, coming into play, and it came a long way. If you look on YouTube at some of those PlayStation One games, we used to play games that look like that, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So
exactly.
I mean, the state of gaming is just crazy right now. Like I get it, it's $1 million, $1 billion industry, but like it's just
That's all it
corruption, man. Like I think
is.
that's just
Yeah,
the way America works, man. It's like you can't
just
enjoy
greed.
things without them trying to take it from you or get money from you. You know?
Yeah, that's the sad thing is, and the reason why these practices are allowed because people's allowing it. You know, and as long as someone's willing to pay for it, then they're gonna do it. And they're gonna continue to do these practices, and people's calling for government to intervene to stop these things. Maybe that's what it needs. Maybe that's what it takes.
Right. I mean, it's just the industry thing, man. I mean, like that's why I see a lot of independent developers, doing stuff. But gaming is therapy. I feel like gaming is therapy. So
Well, a good game is therapy. I mean, games nowadays is tedious. They all doing the mobile form where they just trying to make you stay on as long as possible, and they give you the slightest tedious things to do. It used to be back in the day that they strive to make a good game, and you got looked and frowned upon if you made a really bad game or you
right,
got an incomplete game. That could really hurt you. Like that would
right,
really hurt you. Now they can sell you a game that's not even done, and you are the beta testers, and they're like, okay, we're gonna sell you this game for
right.
$70 for you to test it out for us and let us know all the bugs, and we'll fix it later. Like
Or not even fix it later.
or not
Just
even fit. Yeah, it's like it's crazy. Like, what is this? Like, it's
right,
like back then it mattered. Now it just doesn't matter. It really
right,
don't matter, and people have shown it don't matter. So,
right.
I
I
mean,
mean,
you got people complaining, but that's it.
right. I mean, look, we not gonna end it on a sour note. We could sit here and complain about all that. So what? I mean, is there any new games you wanna play? Like, what about the new Mortal Kombat One? Do you like that, or is
I'm
there?
not
What about
huge
the new Mario?
for Mortal Kombat. I'm not in huge into combat games, fighting against each other type games, but I do like the story, and I like the story of Mortal Kombat. So I've been following that. So yeah, I'm excited to hear about Mortal Kombat One and how they change in the universe, in the lore. Um, the new Mario and the new Sonic game, of course
Right,
I am. I mean, I love anything that's like Mario and Sonic 2D platform. Well, not 2D itself, but you know what I mean, like side-scrolling platformers. For
right.
Mario and Sonic, I like those type of games. So, and these
So
new games is coming out as platformers, so y'all be getting them.
so question like, is the new? I haven't seen anything about this new Sonic. Is there a name for the new Sonic? Because the
Oh
last
man,
Sonic I seen was the Sonic Frontier, I think, or Sonic. I think it was a 3D Sonic. Like it was yeah, it was like you could. Oh, it was open world Sonic or something like that. So that was the last Sonic I
um,
seen.
crap, man. You never played Mania, Sonic Mania when it
I
came
played
out?
Mania. I actually got Mania on the Switch. But I haven't. Like when I was playing those games on Sega Genesis, man, like I was playing Sonic and jamming to the beats, but like to me, it is I like side scrolling games, but it's like a novelty kind of like it's not. It's kind of like how I feel like going into an arcade and playing pinball or something like that, like or going into a place and playing pinball. It's cool when I'm playing it, but it's like I'm not gonna be thinking about pinball once I leave. You know,
Right, right, right.
I mean, I love Sonic. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, I'll go support Sonic merch, go and watch his movies, because Sonic is a staple. In my generation. But I, I mean, I could play it, but if it ain't doing nothing crazy for me, like something new, like the difference between like what was the game where it was the new Sonic and the old Sonic? I did buy that game.
Sonic
Generations.
Generations?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Sonic Generations was dope. You know what I'm saying? And it was a lot of games after that, like Sonic Colors and this and that and the third. It was Sonic when he had to go save the princess, Werehog. It was a lot of different Sonics, and I'm like, it's kind of like redundant at this point. But going back to the 2D type of thing, that's like me going back to play Mario. Like, yeah, I could play a Mario game, but I'm not thinking about Mario no more after I play it, you know?
Right. I mean, it's like a game that you just turn yourself off, your brain off. You ain't gotta do too much craziness. Like Sonic is literally like a game that's pretty much you racing to see how fast you can beat the level. You know, they got
Right.
secret stuff there, but pretty much you're just running through the board. Like you're really missing out on everything. But it's a
Yeah, I
fun
mean, that's
game.
a
It's
Sonic game. Yeah, that's a Sonic
well,
game.
the name of the game is Sonic Superstars. It's
Sonic
coming out.
Superstars. I think I've seen the trailer,
Superstars.
but I just it wasn't like I said, in and out. It was in and out. I mean, one kind of classic side scrolling game that I did like and I played again was the Ninja Turtles game. That game, the newest, the one that came out.
Um, what was it the Revenge Shredder's Revenge, something like
Yeah,
that?
that one was dope
Yeah.
though. Yeah, that was dope. And then it came out with, I think, the bunny guy now, and they put some new characters in there. So yeah,
Huh.
I
Yeah.
actually like playing that game. But you know, after I put it down, I ain't really thought about it no more. You know, I'm looking forward to last uh the last Ronin, or I don't know if you're familiar with the Ninja
Talking about
Turtle comic books.
Ninja Turtles. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
The last Ronin. I don't want to spoil it for the people, but yeah, I'm
yeah.
familiar with that. I thought so. That is not out yet. I thought it was already out.
Well, yeah, I heard it.
I
I
don't
mean, the
know.
comic was out, but I heard they
It come on
making
the
a
game?
game that's gonna be similar to like God of
What?
War. You know what I'm saying? So I wanna
Wow.
check that out. Yeah,
I didn't. I Now that I did not know. I didn't know they was making a game. The Last Ronin. Man, that's gonna be awesome. Now I will be getting that. I am a Ninja Turtle fan as well. And when they came out a new Streets of Rage 4, you know, me and my son, we played the mess out of that game because I was a
yeah.
huge Streets of Rage fan. But yeah, those like side scroller beat 'em ups, turn your brain off. You know what I'm saying? It's about skill, you know, but it's not as serious as these games are now. So I don't know. I like games like that. You know, simple games.
Right. Yeah. Take it on back to the old school. You know. Yeah. I
Right. You
mean,
ain't got to worry about bills and stuff.
I watch a lot of YouTube. You know, with people using the Raspberry Pi and building their own like arcade and stuff like that. I got another friend that I work with. Um, a shout out to Akil. You know what I'm saying? He's doing he's going to school to be a chiropractor, and you know he's doing his thing. But um, he loved Ninja Turtles as well. But he bought cabinets, you know, and he got like a gaming room and all that stuff with cabinets in it. And so you know,
Hmm.
people our age, that's kind of like, well, you know, if we're gonna buy a video game, we're gonna stun on them and have a cabinet in the house. You know what I'm saying? Something
Oh
like that.
wow.
You know, and so I mean, those games in that era, and people watch people on YouTube build the cabinets. That's something I'm interested in now. Like instead of actually playing
Okay.
the game, I want to like build a cabinet or build a gaming system that emulates all the games. You know, something like that.
Hmm. Okay. Okay. That
So
sounds
that'd be
pretty
like
cool.
my new game. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. All right. I can see that. I can see that. I like for them to come out a new Golden Axe, like they did Streets of Rage and Ninja
Okay.
Turtles.
Yeah.
Yeah, stuff like that. But yeah,
Is that the one
old
when the guy
school
turned
guy.
into the wolf, the werewolf?
No, that's Altered Beast or something like
Oh,
that.
Altered
Golden
Beast. Yeah.
Axe. Yeah, Golden Axe is the one where you got like you got the dwarf and you got the warrior, the male warrior and the female warrior, and they can throw those little blue bottles in the sky to use their powers or whatever, and they can get on dinosaurs and ride them. It's a side-scrolling beat 'em up game. Man,
Wow.
Golden Axe, that was the game, man. I used to play 1, 2, and 3 all the time. Like I had the Sega collection. Um, Back on PlayStation 3, man, Streets of Rage, Golden Axe, Sonic. Oh, it's good old
Right.
days. We used to play all those
Yeah.
games.
Man, you know, it's a big nostalgia hit with us with these games, man. You know, like
Well, I can play them still on Nintendo Switch. Just haven't been
Right.
playing them, but yeah.
Yeah. Well.
Those good
Well.
games.
Well. Look, man. Look. I think we done held our listeners captive long enough to hear us talk about video games, man. um. Well. Thank y'all guys for listening, for the one or two people that still left listen to us. You know what I'm saying? um. You know, like I said, check us out on our socials and, DaneComics.com. Once again, we got Fire Rule and Scattered Embers coming out. We're working hard and diligently on that comic right now, trying to get that done. We, try to get started on. Sorry, got tongue tied. Trying to get started on book 2, and we're gonna have more content for you guys. So unless you got something else to say, Jewels, you want to take us out?
No. Well, I would say this: if you've been listening to this and you agree with what we're saying about what these companies doing, then the message should be to vote with your wallet. Like I always say for everything else, these companies ain't gonna change unless people stop paying for it, stop giving them coverage, stop talking about it, all that stuff. So if you want things to change, you gotta be the power of change. Because right now you feel like you're hopeless and you ain't got no strength or no power, but these companies need you to survive. So in order for them to survive, they have to appease you. It's not the other way around. So if you don't like these practices, stop giving these game companies money. Stop giving them money. Start looking at who is behind the scenes as far as the investors, all that stuff. And I guarantee you, these companies will start acting right. They always come with an apology. Stop buying these games day one and all that stuff and show them that you really mean it. And we'll see some change in them. But until then, these companies are going to continue to make the money they're making now because they're just making a killing. And why not? There's no soul in the games. It's all about profit.
Well said, man. Okay. Well, once again, thank y'all for listening, and we'll see y'all next week. Y'all have a great one. Peace.
All right. Stay safe. Peace.
People saying I'm hating. I mean, people would say that I'm hating on One Piece. I'm not hating on One Piece at all. I just do not understand how it takes that long for your story to be told. I get
But what does that have to do with Wolverine?
Because I just told you, man. Because people gonna think I'm hating on One Piece but the only thing that I do hate is Wolverine.
Why? Why you hate Wolverine? Because he can't
he's
die,
whack.
so it's like his story never ends? What? Wolverine is cool.
Because he's
I
whack.
like Wolverine.
His power is healing.
Yeah, he has an extraordinary healing factor.
Yeah, that's whack.
How's that whack? They gave
because
him
his
claws.
character.
Oh, he had claws. Forgot about his claws.
His character is built off. His character is built off of being a badass. Of course, you're a badass if you can heal from anything.
Yeah, but you know what I'm saying? Do you ever know that his attitude is like the nature of the actual Wolverine? Like the Wolverines are small and they're not scared of nobody. They attack any freaking big, huge predator. They don't give a rat's butt. And Wolverine himself is small and out there.
But I respect the real Wolverine other than the character Wolverine because he can heal. Like, what kind of power is healing? You're a badass. I'm an assassin. I'm good at what I do, bub. Because you can heal. If I was a bad guy, I'm not trying to fight you anymore. I don't want to
So,
fight you because I can mortally wound you and you're just gonna heal. You get what
so
I'm
you're
saying?
saying the reason why he's good at what he do is because there's no
Because
undo
he's
button.
bad at what he do. Like tell me if tell me who's cooler, an assassin that never gets touched or an assassin who always get touched but they could just get back up.
That sounds like Deadpool.
It is Deadpool, but see Deadpool is
What?
funny. It's funny.
But
Wolverine is
Deadpool's
not.
power is literally healing factor. He's the healing factor.
No.
That's literally his
Deadpool's
only
pow-
ability.
Yes, that's his only ability.
Yes,
And he can
Wolverine
speak
at
through the
least has
fourth wall.
claws.
But he's funny. That's the whole point. He make healing funny. He's gonna go into a fight and gonna be like, well, I'm gonna break my own arm to get out of this situation, and then I'm gonna grow a baby arm or grow baby legs. Wolverine just acts like a badass all the time, and he's not a fucking badass because he heals. That's all he does. And then he's like, well, I'm going to go fight the Hulk because I'm the only person that can fight the Hulk. Yeah, because you can heal. You know,
So you don't like Wolverine because of his attitude.
I don't like Wolverine because people didn't hype him up as the main character in X-Men, and he's not. And he has the wackest power of all the X-Men. He has the wackest power, healing. Now, if he was a healer, it'd be different. If he can heal other people, that'd be different. But he heals himself. Come on now. Imagine watching Dragon Ball Z and imagine watching any anime and they just can't die. They immortal and then they can just heal. But then they just always trying to fight people and they always trying to do stuff. Like anime would probably make it interesting because it would be more of a story. But Wolverine is just a guy who can heal with knives on his hand. That's the wackest thing.
Same thing with Deadpool.
Deadpool got swords. That's cooler than the knives in his hands.
Oh my gosh.
Look, I'm not even a big fan of Deadpool, but I can see the appeal of Deadpool. I cannot see the appeal of Wolverine.
Gotcha. I mean, I like Wolverine. I get you. He feel like he's just a one-sided character. Like there's nothing else other side to him. He's just like a one-shot pony. But Deadpool's the same way. He's just comedy. If he didn't have that, then what else would he be? So everybody has their arc of who they are. I just think you just disagree with the way Wolverine's is. People might like Wolverine because he's a badass, and they may hate Deadpool because he jokes too much and breaks the fourth wall.
But but it's contradictory. I can actually say that Deadpool's character could either be funny or annoying, and that's his character, to be annoying.
Right.
I can understand him being funny or annoying, but Wolverine saying I'm a badass, I don't understand how you're a badass when you can go and get a million bullets shot at you and you don't die.
That's pretty
You get what I'm saying?
badass.
Like all you can do is heal. All you do is heal, and then you're gonna like, well, I won that fight. Duh, nigga.
So you making it
Duh.
sound like it's the same thing for Deadpool. So either way, these are two rich spoiled kids who can just get anything and say there's no need to flex. Like that's not a flex, is what you're saying.
But
They're like,
no,
I
I'm
got
saying
this.
the character. Deadpool's character is built off of being funny and annoying.
Right.
Wolverine's character is built off of being a badass, which I can't understand because your power is healing. You get
So
what I'm
you
saying?
feel like he needs to have a different thing because why you could be a badass when you know you can't die. So it's like anyone could be cocky if they act like that. Is what you're saying.
Exactly.
Gotcha.
That's
Boy.
useless to me. Like, oh yeah, well, he can only get they put animanium, the strongest metal ever in his body, on his bones, So that makes him a badass.
I'm really feeling the animosity coming from you about this whole Wolverine thing. Like, it's really getting to you. And I'm like,
Hey man, look,
come on, man. Like,
look,
really? Like,
look, everybody at work know I hate Wolverine, and my girl know I hate Wolverine, yo. Jade know I hate Wolverine. You know what I'm saying? Like, I got a shirt
now we
that I
know.
wore. I haven't wore in at least like 5 years. No, like at least 6 years. I haven't wore this shirt. It got Marvel characters on it as little cute characters. It got Spider-Man at the top. It got Captain America on the left, and then it got Iron Man on the right, and then it got the Hulk in the middle, and then at the bottom it has Wolverine.
Mm.
I promise you,
So,
I did want to buy that shirt, but it came with it in a pack of two.
oh my gosh.
I wore it the other day. I was just feeling salty all day.
Oh my gosh. You ought to make a shirt describing how you feel about Wolverine. Hey, this is basic. You really feel this. Like, do a comparison between Deadpool and Wolverine. And the
Right.
only thing you got is one is funny.
So
But
so
I get what you're
are we
saying. I
done with
get what you're
that
saying.
sidebar, man? You know what I'm
Oh
saying?
my
We might have to put
gosh.
this at the end of the podcast.